Let's get one thing straight, folks. Horse meat isn't some newfangled fad in China. In fact, it's a food with roots that run deep, stretching back through the centuries and woven into the very fabric of Chinese culinary history. It's a tradition, a history that goes back centuries. Horses have long been a part of Chinese life, not just as loyal companions or beasts of burden, but as a source of sustenance, especially in times when survival depended on making the most of every available resource. We're talking about a country with a vast and varied culinary landscape, where almost everything is on the menu. From the bustling markets of the south to the windswept plains of the north, Chinese cuisine is a tapestry of flavors, ingredients, and traditions, each with its own story to tell. Horse meat, believe it or not, has earned its place at that table. It's not just a curiosity, it's a dish with a legacy, enjoyed by generations and prepared in ways that highlight its unique taste and texture. It might not be a staple everywhere, but in certain parts of China, it's as common as beef is in a Texas steakhouse. In the northern provinces especially, you'll find horse meat featured proudly on menus, served up in hearty stews, grilled, or even sliced thin for sharing. Now I know what you're thinking. Horse meat? It's not exactly the first thing that springs to mind when someone mentions Chinese food. For many, the idea might even come as a surprise or spark a bit of curiosity and maybe even hesitation. You're probably more familiar with the sweet and sour pork, the steaming dumplings, the kung pao chicken. These are the dishes that have traveled the globe, becoming the face of Chinese cuisine in restaurants from New York to Paris. And you'd be right, those are the dishes that have made their way around the world and become synonymous with Chinese cuisine. They're delicious, comforting, and instantly recognizable. But dig a little deeper, get into the real nitty-gritty of regional specialties, and you'll find a whole different story. China's food culture is incredibly diverse, and every region has its own hidden gems. Dishes that rarely make it onto the international stage, but are beloved at home. In the colder northern regions of China, horse meat has been a source of protein and warmth for generations. When the winters are long and the nights are cold, a hot meal made with horse meat can be both nourishing and comforting. It's a hearty meat, full of flavor, and it helped people survive harsh winters and tough times. For many families, sharing a meal of horse meat was not just about eating, it was about coming together, telling stories, and passing down traditions. So before you wrinkle your nose, remember, food is more than just sustenance. It's a window into a culture's past, a way to connect with the people who came before us, and a reminder that every dish has a story. It's about culture, history, and tradition. Every bite is a taste of the past, a celebration of heritage, and a testament to the resilience and creativity of the people who made it. And in China, horse meat has a story to tell, one that's rich, complex, and still unfolding on plates across the country today. To really understand horse meat's role in China, you gotta go back, way, way back, to a time when the vast steppes stretched endlessly, and life was shaped by the rhythm of the land and the seasons. We're talking about the ancient nomadic tribes who roamed these open plains, their entire existence deeply intertwined with these powerful, resilient animals. Horses were more than just companions, they were the backbone of nomadic life. Horses weren't just a mode of transport back then, they were essential for survival, carrying families and their belongings, pulling carts, and helping people traverse the harsh, unforgiving terrain. And when times got tough, when food was scarce or winters were harsh, well, let's just say nothing went to waste. Every part of the horse was used, from hide to meat, ensuring the tribe could endure. Fast forward a few centuries, and horse meat gradually became a staple in certain regions. It moved from being a food of necessity to a food of tradition, sold in bustling markets and enjoyed by families. It wasn't just about survival anymore, it became about taste, about unique regional recipes passed down through generations, each family adding their own twist to the dishes. Over time, horse meat became ingrained in the culinary identity of northern China, a symbol of heritage and resilience. Now, I'm not saying everyone in ancient China was chowing down on horse meat. The country is vast, and food traditions are as diverse as the landscape itself. Down south, where rice was king and the climate was milder, horse meat never really took hold. People there had their own rich culinary traditions, centered around rice, fish, and vegetables. But in the north, where the land was open and the winters were long, horse meat became a part of the cultural fabric, woven into daily life and special occasions alike. And that brings us to today, a China that's rapidly modernizing yet still holds on to pieces of its past. While horse meat might not be as ubiquitous as it once was, it's still a thriving industry in certain regions, with modern farms and new methods of production. Today there are large-scale farms catering to the demand, and the contrast between the old nomadic lifestyle and the high-tech operations of now couldn't be more striking. Yet the connection between people and horses remains, a living link from nomads to now. So, where do these horses come from? Inner Mongolia and Xinjiang. These regions are to Chinese horse farming what Texas is to cattle ranching in the US. Picture vast, open plains stretching as far as the eye can see, the kind of place where horses can really stretch their legs. Now these ain't your grandpa's stables. We're talking massive operations, some with thousands of horses. It's a far cry from the romantic image of a lone rancher and his trusty steed. This is industrialized agriculture, plain and simple. Think about it. Feeding, watering, and caring for that many animals is a logistical feat. It takes manpower, know-how, and a whole lot of hay. These are businesses, folks, with bottom lines and profit margins. But it's not all about numbers. The landscape, the climate, it's all perfectly suited for raising horses. These hardy animals are built for this environment, and it shows in their strength and resilience. Let's be clear, folks. Life on a Chinese horse farm ain't exactly a day at the spa. It's a world away from the rolling green hills and pampered ponies you might see in glossy magazines or movies. Here, things are practical, efficient, and focused on the bottom line. These horses are raised for their meat, and that's the reality of the situation. It's a business, plain and simple, and every aspect of the farm is designed with that end goal in mind. But that doesn't mean they're mistreated. In fact, the well-being of the horses is actually pretty important to the farmers. After all, a healthy horse means better quality meat, and that's what keeps the business running. In fact, healthy horses mean better meat, and that's good business. So, you'll see caretakers making sure the animals are fed, watered, and checked for any obvious signs of illness or injury. A typical day involves grazing on those vast pastures, soaking up the sun and stretching their legs. The horses get to move around, socialize, and enjoy a bit of freedom, which helps keep them in good shape. Now, it's not a free-for-all buffet. Feeding is carefully managed, and there's a schedule to make sure every horse gets what it needs. These horses are on a regimented diet, a mix of grass, hay, and specially formulated feed to ensure they're packing on the pounds. The living conditions vary, depending on the farm's resources and priorities. Some farms have open stables where the horses can roam freely, giving them space to move and interact with each other, which can help reduce stress and keep them healthier overall, while others use more confined spaces. In these setups, horses might spend more time in stalls or small pens, especially if space is limited or the farm is focused on efficiency. It all depends on the size of the operation and the philosophy of the farmer. Some prioritize animal comfort while others are more focused on maximizing output. Now I know what you're thinking, what about veterinary care? Are these horses getting the attention they need if something goes wrong? Well, it's there, but it's not exactly the same as what your prize-winning thoroughbred might get. The care is basic, focused on keeping the herd healthy enough to grow and thrive, but not on luxuries or expensive treatments. These farmers are running a business and every penny counts. They have to balance the cost of care with the value of the animal, making tough decisions along the way. They're not going to shell out for unnecessary treatments. If a horse is seriously ill or injured, sometimes the hard choice is made to let nature take its course, because at the end of the day, it's all about keeping the operation sustainable. So, how does horse meat actually end up on the plate? Well, it's not that different from other types of meat. Once the horses reach a certain age and weight, they're processed, and the meat is distributed to markets and restaurants. Horse meat is a versatile ingredient in Chinese cuisine. It can be stewed, roasted, made into sausages, you name it. One popular dish is majiangmian, a spicy, flavorful noodle soup where tender slices of horse meat take center stage. It's a warming, hearty dish, perfect for those chilly northern nights. Then there's shujuaru, a dish where chunks of horse meat are boiled and served with a dipping sauce. It's a communal affair, meant to be eaten with your hands, and it's a true taste of traditional Chinese cuisine. But it's not just about these classic dishes. Horse meat is finding its way onto modern menus too, with innovative chefs experimenting with new and exciting ways to prepare it. It's a testament to the versatility of this often overlooked meat. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the cultural differences. In many Western countries, horses are seen as companions, even members of the family. The thought of eating horse meat is taboo, even repulsive. But in China, it's different. Horses have a long history of being both working animals and a source of food. It's a matter of cultural perspective and historical context. What's considered normal in one part of the world might be seen as shocking in another. And let's not forget the practical side of things. China has a massive population to feed, and horse meat is a readily available source of protein. It's a matter of practicality as much as anything else. That's not to say that everyone in China eats horse meat, or that there aren't differing opinions on the matter, but it's important to understand the cultural context and the historical significance of this practice. Just like any other type of farming, raising horses comes with its own set of challenges. Weather is a big one. These vast, open plains can be unforgiving, with scorching summers and bitterly cold winters. Droughts can devastate grazing lands, and harsh winters can make life difficult for both the horses and the farmers. Then there's disease. Just like any other livestock, horses are susceptible to illnesses that can spread like wildfire through a herd. Managing these outbreaks is crucial, both for the welfare of the animals and the viability of the business. And then there's the global court of public opinion. China's horse meat industry has come under scrutiny from animal welfare groups around the world. The conditions on some farms have been criticized, and there are ongoing debates about the ethics of the trade. Chinese farmers are facing increasing pressure to improve animal welfare standards and transparency. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. So, what does the future hold for horse farming in China? That's the million-dollar question, folks. The demand for horse meat is still there, but it's facing headwinds. Changing dietary habits, increasing awareness of animal welfare issues, and global pressure are all factors that could shape the industry's trajectory. Some experts predict a decline in horse meat consumption as younger generations, influenced by Western trends, opt for other sources of protein. Others believe that horse meat, deeply rooted in Chinese culinary tradition, will endure, albeit with a greater emphasis on sustainability and ethical practices. One thing's for sure, the Chinese horse farming industry is at a crossroads. Adapting to changing consumer preferences, addressing animal welfare concerns, and ensuring environmental sustainability will be crucial for its long-term survival. It's a story that's still being written, folks. Only time will tell what the next chapter holds. Look, horse meat might not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, but it's important to understand the context, the history, and the realities of this industry. It's about respecting cultural differences and acknowledging that what's considered normal varies greatly around the world. So, the next time you hear about horse meat in China, remember, it's not a simple issue. It's about tradition, necessity, and a changing world.